Grab and squeeze under your nipple right now. Do it now with me. Squeeze your chest. Squeeze it. Harder than last time. Are you in pain? Is there a lump? Is it hard? If there is, you got gyno. Congratulations. Coach Greg, and in today's video, I'm going to be showing you the results of David Laid's gynecomastia surgery. That's right, David Laid, at least in my opinion, has undergone surgery to get rid of gynecomastia. And what is gyno? Well, it's breast tissue formation under the nipple, which is caused by anabolic steroids or changes in hormones during puberty. There are other possibilities, but for the most part, these are the main causes. And so I don't have proof. I'm not his doctor, and he doesn't have to come out and say he got the surgery. It's just like if a woman got breast implants, liposuction, and so on, you're not going to make an announcement and say, hey, I got this surgery. I had my tooth pulled. And so he's allowed to go about his day doing what he wants. But I'm also allowed to try and educate you. And so of all the dangers, the negative side effects of taking steroids, SARMs, PDs, the most problematic, the one that guys care about the most, is gyno. It's not high blood pressure, cardiovascular disease, kidney problems, not even acne, let alone the balls deflating or possibly not having children. It seems to be gyno. And how do you know if it's gyno and if it's not? Well, if you press under the nipple and you squeeze harder than last time, right under the nipple. If you don't feel something hard, you don't feel something that is difficult to squish down, then you don't have gyno. So often people misinterpret fat or having loose skin in that area and thinking, oh, that's gyno. It's not. Gyno quite literally is a hard lump under the nipple. And how do I know? Because I had it. I've talked about this in former videos. I literally had gynecomastia surgery on myself, and not both nipples, just the one on the left. And for the most part, you probably can't even tell. Had it in this nipple. There's a slight scarring in line with the nipple, as well as a scar to the side. Around a 1-inch cut was made by the surgeon. And so despite the fact that gyno in general, it's not really dangerous, it's the one that people worry about the most. And trust me, I know this. I've been involved in the sport, have lots of friends, was involved in people using steroids, and so I know what they're really thinking. And so although gyno is not really that dangerous, the main problems, aside from the cosmetics, as in it doesn't look as good, is that it hurts. And so aside from the main problem is that being of aesthetics, as in you don't really like the way it looks, especially if you're really lean, you can notice it more, or if your hands are over your head, you can see it, is that your nipples are a lot more sensitive and it can in fact be painful to touch them. I remember even driving in a car, the seat belts touching, and it's irritating. And so it becomes uncomfortable and no one wants to have that. It's not horrendous or horrible, but it is a concern for most men. And in case you're thinking, you can only get gyno at the same time on both sides. Have you guys ever seen Adesanya, former UFC champion? Well, he had serious extreme levels of gyno on one nipple and not on the other. You can get gyno on one side, both sides, it can come and go, but once it's formed, once it's solid, very hard to get rid of, aside from surgery. And so essentially there's 3 forms of surgery for gyno. You can get a microsurgery, minor surgery, or the standard surgery. The first 2 you can get away with while you're fully awake. I was awake, had microsurgery. Very simple and easy. If you have greater forms of gyno, most likely you're going to want to be put under, and it's a serious operation. And typically the cost for gyno surgery, $5,000 to $10,000 USD. And so, for example, James English, he's getting gyno surgery. He doesn't even have it that bad, but he doesn't like it. And we've seen Joe Aesthetics, Joe Linder, he's previously gone surgery and made it public. He wasn't scared to talk about it, and so it's way more common than you think. And for the most part, you won't even know whether someone had it or not, as is the case with David Laid. And so how did I first come about thinking David Laid had gyno surgery? Well, I'm following Alex Eubank and I saw a post he made with none other than David Laid. And so David Laid standing with Alex, I immediately noticed something was off in terms of his nipples. There was some puffiness above the nipple and some indentations. And I thought, well, that doesn't look common. I don't usually see David looking like that. I swiped left and lo and behold, a photo of David Laid, both arms over the head. And this is the most most telling pose for anyone who's had gyno or gynecomastia surgery. You'll see what appears to be a scar in line with his nipple. Not only that, you see an indentation, something concave, as well as something appears to be convex. And so it appears that there's a hole, a crevice that's made in the nipple, as well as some swelling. And so I do believe the swelling that's occurring, the extra skin that you see at the top, that is a seroma, or a fluid that fills up at the site of the surgery. It's under the skin and it replaces the tissue that was once there. What gyno surgery is they remove part of the gland under the nipple. That gland is what will grow and be seen as a hard lump under the nipple. But they can't remove it all. If they take all of it out, it will appear convex and not look normal. But you don't take out enough and it can come back. And so a surgeon will typically remove 90% of the gland while leaving the remaining in place. And I can remember when I had my surgery done, and remember, mine was very minor. It didn't have a serious amount of gyno. But it's like an iceberg. You only see about 10% of it. There's literally about 90% that remains. And so when I saw what came out, I was shocked. It looked to be the size of an egg. And so if you even have a little bit of gyno and you can feel it, you squeeze it, there's a lump or you're in pain, there's typically going to be way more than you thought possible that's actually hidden under there. And so following the surgery, after removing that gland, expect it to look concave. But due to the formation of the seroma, the fluid that's building up under the skin, you can in fact look swollen and puffy and think, well, you did it wrong, doc. I still got gyno. Went back to the doctor. He said, look, it can take 3 to 6 months to appear normal. And so don't expect the full results of the surgery to be apparent until at least half a year. And so guys who have surgery that don't want you to know, well, they've typically got a ton of photos from back in the day. They can post week after week, month after month, and you won't even know it. After all, how do you know when the photo was taken? And with the invention of Photoshop, you can quite literally change what your nipple looks like. You can take 100 photos in the best possible lighting, shadows and so on, and mask the cosmetic effects of having gyno. And so the first photo on the top kind of looks like this. Has one shirt covering the chest above, and there's a nice formed shadow underneath. Very difficult to see a seroma or puffiness of any kind. Hard to notice scarring as well, and even if you have a serious scar, you can quite literally airbrush that out. Very easy for people these days on social media to make and airbrush their photos. You have a zit, gone, erase it. You can easily make anything look the way you want. But when you're taking photos with other people, for example, Alex Eubank, and he posts a photo and it's unedited, well, you're going to see what the guy actually looks like in the real world. And so with the shadow formed at the armpit, it's hard to see that nipple, but on the other side, you can quite easily see. It appears there's a scar. It looks as though there's a seroma. Notice he's lifting up the shirt above the abs, but covering one of the nips. Why is that? Why would he do that? Is it possible he doesn't want you to know that he had gyno surgery? Maybe. Or maybe that's just what he likes to do. I don't know. And notice the location of the phone and fingers. Notice how that perfectly covers up where that seroma would in fact be. And so how would you know if he has gyno or not? And if you look through various photos, sometimes you notice more, sometimes you notice less. This could possibly be more airbrushing, more filters, or simply the time of the day. Perhaps there's more swelling at some times versus another. And here we have an excellent photo of David Lade leaning back, looking like a Greek god with incredible lighting. But if you zoom on the nipple, you will in fact see there's something suspicious about this. Why is there an indentation? Why is there a lump? What is going on there? And here we have David Lade with red coloring all over. Look at his chest. The lighting, the filters, the angle, perhaps airbrushing, it looks normal. But remember, this is his wall, his page, and he can post what he wants. And does the covering perhaps hide the scarring? Maybe. Is that why they chose it? I don't know. But what I do know is I saw the photo with him with Alex Eubank. And so you can debate me if you want. No problem. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm right. There's no guarantees. It's like doing an ad or not. Am I sure? Do I have proof? No. But I believe this to be the case. And so you can agree or disagree. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm right. But I'm here to educate you about gynecomastia. And so is this proof that David Lade is not natty? No, he quite literally could have got this during puberty or during any phase of his life. It's certainly possible that this is not from SARMs and or steroids. And so just because somebody's had gyno or gynecomastia surgery doesn't prove that they were taking performance enhancing drugs. And this is in the same way that just because somebody has acne or they can bench press 400 or 500 pounds also doesn't prove that they're a fake natty. You can have single-digit body fat, have huge muscles, have acne, gyno, and still be natural. It's just highly unlikely. And so many people, they mistakenly think certain things are gyno. For example, Jesse from Athlean X. People have been speculating, look at the gyno. It's literally a few wrinkles of skin. And so, guys, it's not gyno. And if you want to find out if it is, grab and squeeze under your nipple right now. Do it now with me. Squeeze your chest. Squeeze it harder than last time. Are you in pain? Is there a lump? Is it hard? If there is, you got gyno. Congratulations. And whether or not you're natural, it doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter.
The Rock knows it doesn't matter because he himself had gyno and had surgery. Have you seen The Rock's chest in the past? Clear and obvious gyno. Had surgery, made an ad or not on him. Got over 1 million views. And so The Rock had gyno surgery, and does that prove he's not natural? No, maybe he got as a teenager. Perhaps he's got the secret. Perhaps he's being coached in secret by Michael Hearn. Guys, these guys 100% natural, looking the best ever into their 50s. Or they're just taking things that they don't want you to know about. But hey, it's their business. It only really matters if they're lying about it outwardly and trying to sell you programs by being a fake natty. My personal opinion is people should be able to do the surgeries that they want, look the way they want, and not have to tell any other people. But at the same time, we have the right to speculate and say, I think this, I think that. But remember, even if you're natural and you're not taking steroids, there are ways that you can, in fact, build more muscle or improve your testosterone levels. For example, G-test and 3-test, if you take this, it's been shown in clinical research to increase your natural testosterone levels. Andrew Huberman on the Joe Rogan podcast said that Fedosia agrestis and Tom Catalee, Ali's favorite, can both increase testosterone by 1 to 200 nanograms per deciliter each. And so imagine, these two ingredients are in both of these, and so I strongly suggest if you have lower testosterone levels and you're looking to boost them, give these a try. Another amazing supplement to help you build muscle, Ecti Builder. It's not going to increase testosterone levels. Well, it possibly could because there is in fact ashwagandha in it. But it's going to make you recover faster from the gym and build more muscle. If you wish to reach these studies, click the link in the description. They're all there. I've sent them to other people. They read them and they don't make videos about it. They don't talk about it because they don't want to believe that there's actually research. But there is human research, not just in rats, human clinical trials. But no, Ecti Builder can't work. Of course it works. People buy this as our #1 seller. Oh, I don't think it can work. Have you tried it? Because those who have tried it, tons rebuying it. It was amazing. Couldn't believe it. And so they buy it harder than last time. They buy it again and again and again. I've been using this for over 6 months straight. Why? Because this stuff works. And one last thing, liver support. Most people, they seem to be worried about gyno, but if you're using PD, SARMs, and so on, you want to protect your liver. This not only protect your liver, also your cardiovascular support as well. And so I don't have time to go over all the ingredients, but please check out liver support. You owe it to yourself. Even if you're just drinking alcohol, try and be proactive with your health. And so there you have it. That wraps it up. Hope you know more about gyno. Let me know in the comments section. Do you think David Lade has gyno surgery? Do you think he doesn't? Why would one photo look so different than another? Check him out on Alex Eubanks' page and then go to his own page. Compare and contrast. See if you can see what I see. It's a lot of C's. Subscribe, click the bell button, use code Greg, 10% off. Subscribe, click the bell button, comment for the algorithm. There's a like button if you could like the video if you liked it. That would help me a lot. Please do me that favor, like the video and become a subscriber right now if you could. Also, watch one of those 2 bloops that are up there and follow me on Instagram, Greg Doucette IB Pro. And until next time, I am out.